Hi folks, I'm Nath with Two Guys in a Ride, and welcome to our how-to video on the 2022 Ford F150 Lightning, and this is the Lariat trim level. Today I'll be covering the infotainment screen, I'll do a general overview, show you how to access information, and do a deep dive. Let's get started.
Today we're working with our friends at Chuck Spaeth Ford in New Ulm, Minnesota.
The infotainment screen itself is a whopping 15.5 inches. Now this is referred to as a Sync 4A because it is the vertical screen as opposed to the horizontal screen. And the horizontal screen is not 15.5, I believe it's 12 inches. So this is the biggest screen. Now, the way it's divided up is you've got kind of your main thing up here, whatever your app you're using, that's like this size. Down here you have these little cards, and what these do is when you buy the vehicle, they'll just put generic ones in. But as you drive the car and use various apps, it will put the most frequently used things that you use right in here so that they're easy to get to. The climate control always stays there no matter what screen you're in, even if the screen is turned off. That part stays. You have sort of three ways to interact. One is by clicking on the cards. So if you want to click on there, you notice it puts it right up in the screen up here. Every screen I've seen so far up here has this 4-arrow button that if you click, will expand it down. It still leaves the cards visible, but hides about 2/3 of them to give you a little bigger screen. Click it again, and of course it shrinks up. Now, so you can click here. You can of course click down on climate and change things, or you can go up here and you can click on these two. These are your main icons. So this one has all just things to do like drive modes, camera, access, towing. I mean, there's a whole list that we'll go over in a little bit. And then under the vehicle there, you also have settings. Okay, and we'll go over several things in here. The other thing you can press is the app button, which brings up the apps here. And it's not every single app on the car, but it's the ones the most commonly used. So those are right there. You can also go in there and edit a profile. So that's how the screen kind of works. Now, so what we're going to do is we're going to start down here at the climate. So it's all touch except for down right below the screen. You do have a max defrost button that you can turn off physically. I suppose, you know, in just case it gets foggy quick, they don't want to you have to mess with trying to find it down here, although it's right there. All right, so what you do is you click on the temperature and then you just slide to adjust. And if you want to use the plus and minus, you can. However, it's much easier to just use the voice command button. Raise the driver's temperature to 75.
Setting temperature to 75 degrees.
Okay, I don't want it that warm, so I'm definitely going to lower it. So the other buttons that you have are pretty self-explanatory, but you've got a heated steering wheel button here. You've got, of course, fan speed control right here. You've got max defrost here, rear defrost there, and then these are your heated and ventilated seats. So if I click here, you just go down to get ventilation and go up to get heat. Okay, simple as that, and it's the same thing on both sides. So if I bring it down here and then let it go, I'm going to get, you know, some blue dashes showing up here. Whereas if I go up here to the red, I'm going to get some red ones showing up. So it's the same button that does both now. Okay, you have an auto climate control button, but you got 3 dashes. And what they are is the difference in fan speed. So this one, if you get 3 bars, your fan's going to be on auto, your climate system will be on auto, and the fan will be going as fast as it can to get you cooled off as quick as possible. Middle is medium, and the last dash is low speed fan. And then you got max defrost and then rear defrost. So if you want to see all the other features in the climate control, click on this person here. And then this is your sync button. Ford calls it dual, but if my temperatures are different, and I go in here, do I want to sync them? I go in here and I just click the dual button and it brings them back. That's the only button they don't have on this main screen. That would be really nice to have. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the next part. So I'm going to go over to this one and look at the trip. Now when I click on it, it's going to pop it up here. And again, I can make that screen larger, or I can make it smaller, and it gives you a bunch of energy information. 33% of our battery use was climate. Well, we're sitting still, so it's not doing anything else but running the climate. But that's really cool. You can see where it went. You have this trip, trip 1, and trip 2. All right. Now, the other thing you can do is you can go up here to this menu. So if I click here, you have controls and settings, and I'm going to go over a few of these things under controls, and then we'll go over to settings, and then we'll take a look at this button right here. Okay, so under drive modes, you have normal, sport, off-road, and tow and haul. Now, under additional settings here, you can do one pedal drive. If you haven't done, put it back in normal for a minute. If you've never done one pedal drive, what it's designed to do is allow you to drive your electric vehicle with just the accelerator. Basically, when you let up the accelerator, it starts to brake. So it regenerates power for you, and you save wear and tear on your brakes. So if you use it carefully, you might have a set of brake pads that last you an awful long time. You can lock the differential, of course, right there if you want. Camera, super 360 camera system. You can see the overall view right here. This is the front camera view here, nice puppy. All right, if I click on the little magnifying glass, it asks me where I want to take a look at, and then so I can say, well, I want to zoom in here. I want to zoom in there. You get the idea here. There we go. Just click the minus button to get back. So clicking on these two arrows gives you a little more camera view, and it puts some dynamic guidelines on the front. Okay, so my picture shifted back a little bit, and if I go up there, see it moved up. Now if I go here, this truck will shift up a little bit. It gives you just a little bit more room to see. Okay, these are your parking sensors turned on and off. That's what warns you when you're going to run into something. So definitely would leave those on. Then, if I go up here, it's the whole camera menu. So this button is the 360. If I go here, right now I'm in the front mode, and it shows me the front and rear sensors. If I go here, it shows me the backup camera. Now, one thing that really surprised me is in the backup camera, these are not dynamic swivel guidelines. And I was surprised at that. They are static, but you do get the hitch view. And then, of course, each of these little colors is a different distance. Like, for instance, you don't want to get any closer to anything where those red lines are. That's as close as you should get to be safe. And that's close. All right. If you want a little wider front view, this was the front view we had originally. If you want a little wider, you can go like this. If you want a hitch view, you go straight down, your hitch would go right here. And then, if I go here, I can look at my bed, which is really awesome. Now, even cooler is this little camera with a plus button. Okay, nothing on there right now, but this allows you to hook a camera to your trailer that you're pulling, and then you can access it right from your infotainment screen. How awesome is that? Hit the X to get out of it. Okay, I said it's got a really cool towing package, but you know, we went over that in the driver's information screen. So this is where you set everything up. Okay, so I'm going to skip that. Zone lighting is a cool feature because this vehicle has lights all the way around, and you can say, for whatever reason, at night, I'm going to turn this power on. I'm going to say I want this light on. So now my front lights are on. Or I say I need a little light out the driver's door. Okay, it turns on the lights in the mirrors on either side. You can see them. Or I want some lights in the back. And there you go. And it shows you what the lights are coming on. That's kind of cool. And you can just say all zones and turn on all the lights. Let's go to the Pro Power on board. All right, so now here, if I want to turn on the front circuit, I just click on that button. If I want to turn on the circuit in the back, I'll just click on that. The one inside the vehicle is already running. And it may be hard to see on the camera because of the graphics, but there's just a little picture of a power cord with a plus and minus sign for each of these. And then you just click on there to turn them off. You can turn the whole thing off right there if you want. Right down here, you've got a vehicle power down timer. So basically, if the vehicle's left running and they don't sense anyone in there, then it'll shut off after a certain amount of time, so you save some power. Okay, Pro Power Reserve. So outlets will turn off at a selected value, and if I click here, I can go the default, which is like 43 miles, I think. In this case, I guess it's 77 miles. Okay, I can say leave me enough power to get to the closest charging station, or manual. Now under manual, I can set anywhere from leave me with 10 miles of power or leave me with 225 miles of power. All right, you do also have a ground fault test that you can run if you want. Okay, now under parking, you can just click here and navigate to a parking area. Now, we're not going to have any parking areas where we are sitting here in Sleepy Eye, but in a big city, those would pop up. And it's just a quick, easy way to find something. All right, we're going to go back to here, and we're going to go back to parking. The cool thing is, you can also turn on and off your parking sensors, but you have some additional settings. And so it goes to the driver assistance, which we'll see again later. But these are all the stuff that you would maybe want to adjust for parking, like blind spot information system, rear view camera display, parking aid sensors. Do you want the front sensors on, the rear sensors on? Because you might want to turn those off if you're towing something. Do you want cross traffic alert, driver, etc.? And these are just simple click on, click off. But here's the cool thing. It just gave you specific information just for your parking, which I think is awesome. I love that it brings it right to there. Okay, so we're going to click on here again. You notice there is no back button, so I'm just clicking on the icon to get out and then click on the icon to get back in again. All right, settings. There's so many to go through here, but this is where you're going to make a lot of the settings, and these are basically one-time settings and then you're done. But driver assistance, I want to talk about these ones right here because we didn't address them, but these are a lot of your safety systems. So, for instance, let's just start at the top, auto hold. So if that's on and I come to a stop sign or a stoplight and I stop, I can lift my foot off the brake and the vehicle will remain stopped until I press the accelerator or resume on cruise. If that's turned off, if I let go of the brake, the truck's going to roll. So that's kind of a nice feature there. This is where you change the type of cruise control you're using. So you can have adaptive or you can have normal. And then, do I want lane centering on or off? That keeps you between lines if it can read the two lines. And then over here, you have speed sign recognition. Turn that on, and then it should pop up in your driver's information screen. Okay. Now, over here, if you have speed sign recognition, it's going to warn you if you're going over the speed limit. So you set a tolerance. You say, you know what? Don't warn me until I'm 5 over. Or, 3 over, or, 20 over. Yeah, I better warn you then. Or warn me, 5 miles an hour before I hit the limit. But that's where you're going to set that. Okay, let's see. Lane keeping system. All right, you can set the mode here. You want alert, aid, or alert and aid. So if you do that, it'll actually not only beep at you, it'll vibrate, it'll move the steering wheel to keep you in the lane. Okay, and these are all going to work the same, but these are all your safety systems. Pre-collision assist, distance indication, that's kind of a nice one. Tells you how far you are from the next vehicle in front of you. Automatic emergency braking, I'd suggest you leave that one on. Evasive steering assist. So what that's going to do is, in an emergency when you need to quickly steer, the vehicle is going to it's assist, so it's gonna boost the steering and use whatever it can in the vehicle to help you make your quick turns safely. All right, and you can set the sensitivity for that again. You just click on it. Now, any one of these, if you forget, you can always click on the eye, and it goes to that screen. Okay. Let's see, rear view camera delay, if you turn that on, when you take it out of reverse, put it in drive, the rear view camera will stay on for until about 5 miles an hour. Reverse brake assist, you can have that on there. Rear cross traffic, driver alert. I mean, there's just so many. Okay, let's talk about vehicle for a minute. Vehicle power down timer, we turned that one on earlier. Okay, you can set valet zone limits. Rear occupant alert, it'll alert you when you get out of the car to check the rear. Key detection alert. Okay, you leave the vehicle in the car, it's going to beep at you. Easy entry exit. Seat adjustment. That's really nice. You know, to do it so it'll automatically adjust your seat just getting in and out of the car to where you had it. Okay, let's see. Remote start setup. Okay, you can go through there. You can look at the time. You can say if it's going to turn the heating or the air conditioning on, climate control, so that when you start it, your vehicle's all ready to go for you. And there's another spot where you can do that as well. All right, boy, let's go down here. Let's just take a look at power tailgate. You can have it as a manual if you want. Just click there, or have it as power. Okay. Lighting, this does have auto high beam lights. You can turn those on or off. Daytime running lights, you can turn those on or off here. I'd really suggest leaving those on. Typically, it's an insurance discount. And then welcome lights, when you hit the key fob, the car lights up. Turn that off and it's not going to light up. When you get out of the car and you shut it off, you can set the lights to delay for 10 seconds to 120 seconds or turn that off completely. But it's nice to make your way to the front door that way. Under low battery, when do you want to be warned? At 20 miles, 30 miles, or 50 miles? I'd leave it up far as I could. Okay, under general, this is where you can change all your units. You can change language here. Okay, so you just click on what you want. Measurement units there, temperature units here. What I like is that they're letting you make changes to things individually. For instance, if I drove to Canada, I would then change my mile per hour gauge to kilometers, but I'd leave temperature in Fahrenheit because I'd be lost trying to read it in Celsius. Okay, so, but that's nice that they allow you to customize it. Display. So, if this is all just too much information, you can hit this and have what's called the calm screen. However, you're not going to want to go through all those buttons if also you're in the middle of traffic. All right, so all you got to do is push this. There you go. Push it again to bring it back. Or you can just tap the screen. Okay, so we went back here. We went back to settings. Departure and comfort. Now, this is where I said that you, remember we looked at the remote start where you kind of program things? Okay, so I'm going to say, okay, Monday. So for Monday, let's say I'm going to go to work at, let's say 6:30 a.m. And I want the vehicle to cool because it's summer. Okay, I hit save. Now every Monday morning at 6:30 a.m. my truck will start. I leave at 6:40, so that will be cool for me by then. But that's really cool. All right, I'm gonna clear that one out, and we'll go back here to clear all. And I don't want to set it up for anyone else. We'll hit exit. Okay, that's how you do that. 911 assist. That again is something I would recommend you leave on, because if you get into an accident, it will call emergency services in case you can't. All right, and then the Ford Assistant. Now, I pressed the voice command button earlier and did something. However, the cool thing here is I can say listen for a wake word, and then under preferred wake word, I can say any one of these. So Okay, Ford, 101.9.
Tuning to FM 101.9.
Okay, so that's just absolutely fantastic. You can just use the word instead of saying pushing any button. Okay, towing, you can turn on trailer sway right here. And this also where you can add a trailer. And then, of course, this vehicle has ambient lighting. So you can turn it on or off. You don't have like a lot of adjustments for colors or anything, but you got nice lighting underneath the footwells and underneath the seats and that kind of stuff. And then you can set the brightness right here or hit reset. Okay. Now, the other button I told you that we could use would be the this button here. So we have the things you're used to seeing, like radio and phone and navigation. So this does, of course, have AM and FM radio. It has Sirius XM, Bluetooth, the hotspot. It has navigation. Actually, has connected navigation, which I will talk about in a minute. Okay, so what we're going to do right now, though, is we are going to hook to Apple CarPlay. So I'm going to press the Apple CarPlay button. I'm going to turn my phone on, and I want to see a phone list. All right, give it a second. Add a phone.
Search for your vehicle on your device and select it once it is found.
So I'm looking on Bluetooth settings, scroll to the bottom. In a minute, something should pop up. Yep, Ford F-150 Lightning. Click on it.
Confirm that the pin displayed on sync matches the pin displayed on your device.
Okay, then it asks me if I want to allow contacts and favorites to sync. I'm going to say no, but if this is your car, you want to say yes. Okay.
For your safety, please stay alert to changing road conditions and use Sync's voice-activated features while your vehicle is in motion.
Okay, now it says, do I want to let my phone use CarPlay with Ford F-150 Lightning? You need to click Use CarPlay. Okay, now I can set my phone down on that lovely wireless charger. Say, turn on the 911 assist, and say finish. You want to click Enable here. Okay, now, like the other screens, if I want this a little bigger, even though it's already big, I can do this and I get a little bigger screen. So, I am going to go right here to the app view. I mean, this is cool. This is a really big screen. It's impressive in person. Basically, it's going to take any app that your phone has that will work with the system and puts it in the screen so you never have to touch your phone. Now, you may say, well, if I'm not touching my phone, I'm still touching the screen. Nope. Don't have to do that either. Use your assistant. So like this. Hey Siri. Open Pandora. Hey Siri. Navigate to McDonald's.
One option I found is McDonald's on South Broadway Street.
And there you go. A few touches, but man, nothing close to what you used to have to do. So, I mean, you control your climate, your audio, your navigation, all through voice command. And all you got to do is remember to say, hey, Ford, or whatever you set it to, and then, of course, hey, Siri. So, fantastic. So I'm going to go back to apps for a minute. Okay, and if I click on phone, it's going to bring up Apple CarPlay, and this is the phone portion of it. Recents, contacts, keypad, and voicemail. This button allows you to go to a split screen mode, but you can also swipe back and forth between that. Somebody asked once, well, can I play Sirius XM radio and still see my Google Maps? Yes, you just can't start anything here because this comes from your phone. So the system will accommodate any audio as long as that's not playing. It can't do two different sources at the same time. Okay, again, you want that a little bigger or a little smaller now? You can shrink that up. Okay, let's go back to apps for a minute, and I want to look at radio. Now, AM and FM and Sirius XM are all going to be very, very similar. So you're going to be able to tune here, You want to type in a number, you can do that there. You can use these to skip forward, skip backwards, okay? And you can use your voice command. So, doesn't matter what source you're in, it's always going to look the same. You see that? Now, this changed a little bit because you got channels, it says, but it's going to be the same basic setup, and AM's going to look the same. Okay? So, the question is, well, how do you save a favorite? So, how do I save it? Well, I'm going to click and hold. And now it's saved. And there it is. Okay. The other thing people ask is, well, how do I adjust my sound? Well, it's easy. They put a sound button right here, and you can go in here, go up to sound, and now here, this is balance and fade, and you can go like this. You can use the arrows. You can hit reset. And then you can also go to tone settings, and you can do whatever you want. So those are all that's really the only controls you have over that, except for you have stereo or surround. Okay? Speed compensate volume means as you're going faster, they know the noise in the cab is a little bit more. So this automatically tries to compensate by raising the volume of the stereo, making it seem like it's the same no matter what speed you're driving at. And you can set the sensitivity to low, medium, high, or just turn it off altogether. Okay, so that was radio. Let's take a look at this navigation. Now, here's the interesting thing. So this is connected navigation, and be careful when you do this because there's a couple packages. The way I read the information, the first package is a 3-year package, and the second package is a 90-day package. But the huge difference was, at the end of the 3-year, this becomes a normal navigation system. You just don't have connected things like weather and instant traffic and that kind of stuff. The other one stated that you couldn't program a route. It was just a map that showed you an icon. So, now that's not a huge deal because a lot of people just use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto and then Google Maps or Waze or whatever you have for navigation. But just check when you're buying one and decide and make sure which one is right for you. Okay. So this will, when you get if you whichever subscription you get it for at least 90 days or 3 years. It's very nice. You can get weather and all sorts of things on your way. Basically, you can go in here and you could type, but we're just going to do by voice command. So, okay, Ford, navigate to the closest McDonald's.
Which item would you like?
4.
Starting route to McDonald's.
So you can also pinch and zoom, okay? This is where your volume is to cancel, like, I don't want to hear the voice commands. You can see the overview of your route right there. Go back to your map, okay? And then this one here will get you back to your car and give you the directions up here. Now, how to cancel a route. All right, well, real quickly, you can do it via voice command. Just say, okay, Ford, cancel navigation.
Canceling route.
And honestly, that's just the easiest way. I mean, it's a fairly natural conversation with the vehicle. Okay, so that's the basics of navigation. We'll go over here. Let's see. Media would connect to my phone via Bluetooth. It'd be interesting to see. Yeah, see here it wants me to either disconnect from Apple CarPlay or not. I would never. If you have Apple CarPlay, stay connected to that. Don't use Bluetooth. This is way better. They've even included games. So you want to do a jigsaw puzzle or you're waiting at the store for someone to shop and get back in the car? Okay, so you can sit there and you can just try things. Hey, it's very responsive. You can get a hint if you want. Now this screen does give you a back button right here. So there we go. All right, that's it for the driver's information screen and the infotainment screen on the 2022 Ford F-150 Lightning. Hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching.